Just when I thought Creator Clash was done, just when the dust had settled, a new opponent appears, but not in the likely place you'd expect. So today, I want you to think of me as punk rock Beato. So in this corner, the self-proclaimed gatekeeper, the new metal advocate, the punk rock MBA, Finn McKenty, or dare I say, Sergeant D. And in this corner, his opponent of Canadian descent, but we won't hold that against him. With a list of enemies longer than Fat Mike, we have Dan Frampton. So if you haven't heard, there's a little bit of beef between McKenty and Frampton. So I pulled a McKenty and I gave him his own Dan Frampton video compass.
See, internet culture isn't that hard. All it takes is a good 4-quadrant graph.
Now, at the top, we have lit, because this shit's pretty litty. But down below, nah, it ain't funky fresh no mo. Then you have mean and satire. 4 years ago, Dan Frampton released a video praising Finn McKenty and his brilliance. It's actually a pretty wholesome video, and that's why I'm gonna put it right at the top of the music compass, centered up. It's not mean, it's not really satirical, and it's definitely funky fresh, keeping it lit. But like all good things must come to an end, so did Dan Frampton's love of the punk rock MBA, and he went from making videos for good to making videos for evil. So let's take a look at a video where Dan Frampton imagines a punk rock creator clash of sorts, where in the main event he fights Finn McKenty. Overall, I think this video is pretty cute. It's just one grown man imagining another grown man fighting him. The most manly thing a man can do. But he admits he loses, or would lose. But here we have the punk rock Giga Chad, Dan Frampton, admitting he's a lover, not a fighter. And for that alone, this video must go in the upper right quadrant of the compass. Now we come to a video where Dan teaches you how to ruin music for yourself. And for the most part, it's cute. It's a little jokey. But Dan, I hate to do it to you, but I gotta play McKenty's advocate on this one. Because taken out of context, this video can seem quite mean. Because a lot of people, unlike you and me, Dan, have trouble deciphering satire. Watch this next clip and we'll discuss.
This is just a public service. If you're out there watching Finn McKenty videos, you're a lost cause. It's over for you. I'm so sorry. I wish I could go back and be making videos, okay? So you didn't have to be brainwashed into thinking, this is the correct man over here. Finn McKenty, you're wrong.
Wow, that was pretty harsh. We're all entitled to the way we feel, the way we think, the jokes we make. That's why I gotta put this video in the lower left quadrant. But not too far in the depths. It's pretty close to the lines. You're almost towing the line. And our next video is Finn McKenty unironically loves Ronnie Radke. Dan's taking shots at Finn's wardrobe and his lack of self-awareness. In a hilarious way. But hilarious does not mean it's okay to be mean, Dan. Although this video is satire, it's not very funky fresh of you. And for that reason, it must go down. Now we come to another genuinely wholesome video by Dan. Dan seemed to love the interview between Fat Mike and Finn McKenty, pointing out how all of Finn's little tropes come out, like making a music compass. This video made me smile to see a grown man appreciate another grown man via YouTube. Dan, you son of a bitch, you did it again. And this video is gonna go in the upper right quadrant, because you were poking fun, but it was all in jest. So the last 3 videos about Finn, the one that Finn had taken down, the response to that one, and then the response to the response, I'm not gonna do individually. They're all lumped into one. Finn, I think you took the little pokes and jabs from a vastly smaller YouTuber way too seriously. Dude, it's just YouTube. He was just reading the article. So that's like if he was gonna read the New York Times and it said something you didn't like, would you take it out on him for reading it? Granted, Reddit's a lot harsher than the New York Times, but you get my point. So these videos are going solely in the center. of the graph. Yeah, they're harsh. Yeah, it's unprofessional, but that's the name of the game on YouTube, baby. And honestly, I'm challenging you, Finn McKenty, and you, Dan Frampton, to come on my podcast, Digit Does, and we'll hash it out together. Unless you're scared.